Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rizka Azizah. Today, I would like to present about the term of copyright in Indonesia, United States, United Kingdom, and Japan. The meaning of a copyright in Law Number 28 of 2014 concerning copyright provides the understanding that copyright is the exclusive right of the creator that arises automatically based on the declarative principle after a work is realized in the tangible form without reducing restriction in accordance with statutory provision. Exclusive right consists of the moral right and economic right. Economic rights are the right to obtain economic benefit from a work of a copyright and related property right. Economic rights include reproduction, adaptation, distribution, and communication right, its broadcasting, wiring, and public performance. Meanwhile, moral rights are rights inherent to the creator whose right cannot be removed or eliminated for any reason, even though the copyright has been transferred to another party. Moral rights give a control to the creator over the use of their works by giving them the right to claim the work as the creator of the work and prevent its use by the other. And the next is governing regulation. In Indonesia, it's explained in the Indonesian Copyright Law Number 28 of 2014, and in the United States, it's explained in the Copyright Act of 1790, and in the United Kingdom, it's explained in the Copyright Design and Patent Act in 1988, and in Japan, it's explained in the Japanese Copyright Law of 1970 or Shosokakugino. And the term of the copyright in Indonesia is 50 years from the first time the work was the first published, with the copyright extension for the further 20 years. In the United States, under the law, copyright lasts for the lifetime of the creator plus 70 years after the date of the creator. If the work is protected by the corporate right or is produced by a company, the copyright is valid for 95 years from the publication of the work or 120 years from the creation of the work. In the United Kingdom, the copyright protection depends on the type of work and when it was created. The following is the duration of the copyright protection for several types of the work. The first one is literary, dramatic, musical, and artistic work. The duration of the copyright protection is 70 years after the date of the author. The second one is film work. The duration of the copyright protection is 70 years after the date of director, screenwriter, and the music composer involved in making the film. And in Japan, the duration of the copyright protection in Japan depends on the type of work and the existence status of the author. The following is the duration of the copyright protection for a certain type of the work in Japan. The first one is literary, dramatic, musical, and artistic work. The duration of the copyright protection is 70 years after the date of the author. Second one is film work. The duration of the copyright protection is 70 years after the date of the director, screenwriter, and the music composer involved in the making the film. And in the next slide, I will explain about the term protection based on the moral right and based on the economic right. The term of protection based on the moral right in Indonesia related to the inclusion of a name of the compilation of a person's work, the inclusion of his possession, the protection of a person's work against acts of destruction, mutilation, modification, and other things that have the potential to damage the beauty of the creator of the work is valid indefinitely. Meanwhile, the right to change the name of a work to suit the community's decency and to change the title and subtitle of a work is valid for the duration of the copyright of the creator concerned. In the United States, only works of visual art are given moral right protection under the copyright law. In the United States, moral rights are not transferable and they end only with the life of the author. In the United Kingdom, the term of protection was on the moral right, the right to object the false attribution of a work expired 20 years after the person's death, the right to be identified as director or author, and the object to derogatory treatment subsist for as long as the copyright term of the work moral right were extended to cover performance in qualifying performance. In the Japan, the term of protection of moral right theoretically expired when the author died, and the last is 70 years after the date of the author. And the next is the term of protection based on the economic right. In Indonesia, economic right will continue as long as the creator lives and will continue for 70 years after the creator death, where the continuity will take effect and they calculate after the one day since the creator's date. Work produced by legal entities, economic right lasts for 50 years from the time work is the first published. In United States, the protection based on the economic right, its copyright protection lasts for the life of the author plus an additional 70 years for an anonymous work, a cited work, or a work made for hire. The copyright endures for a term of 95 years from the years of its first publication, or a term of 120 years from the years of its creation, whichever expired first. In the United Kingdom, copyright protection for published work can last up to 70 years after the author's death, and in Japan, economic rights in the following case continue to subsist until the end of 70 years following the making public of the work. First is anonymous and cited work. Second is work bearing the name of a body corporate. Third is cinematographic work. In the next slide, I will explain about the protected copyright. In Indonesia, the first point is include or not include his name on the copy in connection with the use of his work for the public. Second is his aliases or pseudonym. Third is change his creation according to the property in society. Fourth is change the title exhibiting the creation. Fifth is given the right in the event of creation, destruction, creation mutilation, modification of creation, or things that are detrimental to the self-respect or reputation. In the United States, protected copyright is the first one is literary work, second one is musical work, include any accompanying work, the third one is dramatical work, include any accompanying music, fourth is pantomimes and choreographic work, five is pictorial, graphic, and sculptural work, seven is motion picture and other audiovisual work, 8 is sound recording, 9 is architecture work. In the United Kingdom, the protected copyright is the right to be identified as author or director, the right of paternity or attribution, the right to object to the derogatory treatment of a work, the right of integrity, and the right to object to the false attribution. In the Japan, protected copyright is the first one is right to make a public, the creator right to the publish or make his work published. Second one is right to claim authorship, the creator's claim on a copyrighted work. And the third one is right to the integrity of one's work, the creator right to refuse any deviation, alteration, or destruction of his work. And the next slide is conclusion. Based on the copyright protection period stipulated in the law of each country, and each country has a different in the term of protection. In the Indonesia, copyright law has the advantage of greatly protecting the creator of a work which is valid for 50 years after the date of the creator. Then arrangements regarding moral right and economic right are given to all copyrighted objects regulated in the Indonesian copyright law. While in the copyright in the United States generally refer to economic rights that are very attached to the copyright that are valid for 70 years after the date of the creator. Regarding the regulation of a moral right in the United States copyright law, it is very universally proportional to the Indonesia copyright law, which regulate the moral right of the United States are only granted for the creator of a visual work, while the economic right in the United Kingdom and Japan have a term for the lifetime of the creator plus 70 years after the death of the creator. But the special provision for anonymous, cited, or collaborative work, namely economic right for 95 years from the publication or 120 years for the creation. In the United Kingdom, moral right can be protected even after the economic right expires, and in Japan, moral rights are protected for the life of the creator and for the life of the packets. So it's all that I can explain about the term of a copyright in Indonesia, United States, United Kingdom, and Japan. I'm so thankful for all your attention and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Have a great day everyone.